Hello everyone, and welcome to another day of NGS action. Today just going to be the single header, but we are going to the heroic division between a solid school and Team Happy Cloud. Now, let us take a look at the standings so we know exactly what's up for grabs. First of all, this is a flex game. This is not one of the week games. This is the flex game of the season for both these two teams. But looking at the standings, once the overlay updates, I got it somewhat working today. Yesterday was completely busted for some reason. But there we go. Kind of. It's going to be going between all of them. But main thing to note, both of these teams are pretty up there right now in terms of the standings. The Solid School, they're actually right next to each other. 11 points and 10 points for Team Happy Cloud. These two teams are neck and neck. And this game literally is the difference between hitting that top 3 right now and not. Whoever wins this will be holding that top 3 position. Now, the map picks and bans have already happened. Oh, in fact, we'll get back onto that later because we're already going into draft, but we are going to the Battlefield of Eternity. Now, this map, I believe, was picked by a Solid School. Let me just double check once they do load in here. But yeah, due to some child issues, they just needed to get them to bed. They had to take some time, and they did all the picks and bans off the call. They did it kind of on their own, just through DMs. So it does take me a little bit to catch up on all that. But it was picked by a Solid School. Team Happy Cloud did take the first pick. Now the draft has already begun. Greymane banned away by Team Happy Cloud. Chromie banned away by Solid School. And Diablo also banned away by Team Happy Cloud. And the final ban, gonna be the Lucio for a Solid School. So very quick pick and ban phase coming out right now, as both teams know exactly what they want. And Chris and Nader will lock in Vala. Very strong DPS, very typical DPS. And once, I believe it's the level 7 talent, the Hungering Arrow will win any race on the Battlefield of Eternity. And once you hit level 20, you can basically one-shot it. At least enough to take half of its HP. Now, Dahaka and Li Ming gonna be locked in here for a Solid School. Now, Dahaka obviously doesn't have the same value on this map since it is a smaller map. However, during those laning stages, especially early on, Dahaka can definitely come into the middle of a fight unexpectedly and maybe even win that bottom siege camp. And Li Ming for Azuriel also going to be really good at racing for the Immortals. And now 275 Delta going to lock in the Uther as Rob locks in the Blaze. And to quickly answer your question, Omster, there is 1 point per map win. So if you win 2 maps, you get 2 points for that. Then 1 point for winning the series. So 2-1, you get an extra point. And if it's a domination, you get a 4th point on top of that. So every map matters. Now, Oreo actually went through all the way. Going to be banned away now by a Solid School. I guess they fear the double healer Team Happy Cloud. Which I gotta say is a pretty interesting ban when there already is an Uther. Now, that might also be main tank Uther. That's something that I've seen before. Is definitely good on a map like this where fighting and area control is important. And now Anna going to get banned away by Team Happy Cloud. And this might be the fastest paced draft I've had so far this season, but I love it. We started a bit late, but we're going to get into game early and on time maybe. But now final 2 picks, they still need tank, they still need healer, possibly another DPS. And it's going to be Hanzo for Mundane Zebra and Muradin for Jazz. So they got their front line, they have their race, they even have their poke damage. Li Ming and Hanzo both going to be very good at that long range poke. They are a little bit low on the sustained damage front. Dahaka will be able to help with that. Same with Muradin. Muradin, if they're able to get a one-on-one against a different tank, should come out on top just because of the trait. And now Drinking Bird and Fade going to get the last 2 picks. And it is going to be the double healer with the Uther main tank as Fade locks in the Tyrande. And the Kira for Drinking Bird. So very interesting team comp coming out of Team Happy Cloud. They have the double healer. I believe that's going to be main tank Uther. Could be an offlane Rob. I believe it is going to be the off-lane Blaze, though Kira could also do it, but could also fight in the 4 squad. Could also be in the top lane and do a 2-3. It's a very flexible composition picked up by Team Happy Cloud. And our final pick going to be the white main for the Cure. Obviously has a ton of burst healing potential, and into Kira could be very good, especially with the final strike. But now that's going to be the end of our draft as we're heading into game number 1 between A Solid School and Team Happy Cloud. All right, and we are still loading in here. But when we do, it is going to be the first game between the 3rd and 4th best team in North American competitive HOTS. A Solid School versus Team Happy Cloud.
Prepare yourselves for battle.
And now, first I'm going to be keeping an eye out on the talents. I suspect it is going to be the Hungering Arrow build. Coming out from, I believe it's Christinator, right? Yeah, Christinator. Sorry, I'm still not very good at telling some of these heroes apart with all their skins. Your caster's a noob. And actually, it's going to be Creed. So that's interesting. This is not going to be a Hungering Arrow build. This is just going to be a straight DPS build. Which signals to me that Team Happy Cloud cares more about team fighting instead of racing. I mean, the Vala is going to be strong regardless. But because of that, it's going to be a little bit weaker. And now is the Sentinel not going to hit Jazz. Trying to predict the dodge from the middle of the lane, but not going to happen. Now Mundane Zebra. Going to get a little bit of a poke onto the towers. Doesn't get any stacks for the simple geometry. And now Azuriel and Hero going to be poking out a little bit on the cannon towers on the top side. It looks like Azuriel's really focusing on those structures. Delta's going to be there to assist Rob. So it is going to be 2v3, or 2 and 3 for the bot and top lanes, respectively. Now Fade going to mount up over in the back line, as they do have the initial push here. The globe is up. That Drinking Bird going to be able to get a little bit of poke, as they do need to remember these Carnage, Revolving Sweep. Those are the 2 main ones. It will take me some time. I don't get to cast Kira's too often, but I am looking forward to learning the abilities. And now Mundane Zebra going to get a little bit of poke over top. And both sides are just kind of trying to shove in. But now Hero might be in a bad spot. But Rob not going to land the jet propulsion. They're just poking away at this Dahaka. But poking away at Dahaka is very difficult to do it in a way that actually matters, as Azuriel starting to roam towards this bot lane. So they are going to have an Ember's advantage for a little bit. The Sentinel does scout out that Azuriel is down here, but they're still able to get a good chunk of damage on Christinator Drinking Bird. Luckily had the spell armor, so we'll be okay. And over the top side, they are aiming towards Hero. They have the slow, got the stun. Do they have anything else? Lunar Flare, Jet Propulsion, both already been used. So because of that, they should be able to take the siege camp on the side of A Solid School. They have the numbers, but maybe this could signal a play for the top side. But they are walking back. They don't want to let the siege camp get too much damage, as Fade is waiting in the top bush looking for the play, and they do have the stun on a Mundane Zebra. They're able to follow it up, but not too much damage left. And now it's going back to Drinking Bird, but the healing will come out. When you have the double healer, if you don't get the instant burst, it's definitely going to be hard to play. And now that I think about it, I think that might have been part of the idea of the strategy, because Hanzo and Li Ming, they're both burst heroes. They don't have enough consistent DPS to really damage, to just out DPS the healing. They rely on one-shotting, and if they can't do that, they're in a bad spot. But now they're invading onto the Bruiser camp. Team Happy Cloud looking to play aggressively. But Jazz looking at Christinator, not going to land on the Christinator, but will hit onto Drinking Bird. Now Fade walking forward, and it's 5-on-4. They have the Hammer of Justice onto Hero. Fade trying to run away, not had a lot of HP, but Jet Propulsion onto 3 and Revolving Sweep, and the Carnage to finish off 2. Mundane Zebra also going to go down. A Hero still alive, is in stasis, but nowhere to go. Just going to get body blocked. Trying to run away with the move speed, but it's not enough. 3-0 for Team Happy Cloud as the Immortals spawn. So this should be, at the very least, an easy halftime for them. Jazz is going to be here trying to be either a nuisance. Jazz just kind of watching them for now. But so far, not playing aggressively. Fade just going to get the little stun on a Jazz. as Christinator gonna run down, but not gonna be able to get any poke damage. Now it is gonna start racing with Mundane Zebra and Azuriel. They're both playing towards it, but halftime will be reached here. So 5.5k HP advantage so far for Team Happy Cloud. Now where is the next set of mortals gonna spawn? Scattering Arrow is dealing a little bit of poke. And it looks like Team Happy Cloud, they just want to fight. They do have an easy racing spawn, but they don't want it. They're looking for Mundane Zebra. Revolving Sweep, gotta come through. Hand of Justice, and one final Carnage coming out from Drinking Bird to get another kill. Now Christinator is going to be the only one racing. The rest of the team is just defending onto their own Immortal. They want that shield. Fade even going to be catching the Arcane Orbs, just trying to lower as much damage as possible. Azuriel still trying to find an angle, but they're just preventing it. Have a full circle around the team and is forced to teleport away. As the crowd control the Team Happy Cloud have is just immense. It's so difficult for them to walk forward. And the Bruiser Camp also going to get started by Christinator just in time. Now the entire squad is going to group up here. Lunar Flare going to be used just to lower the DPS. And the Immortal will be going over to this bot site for Team Happy Cloud. And now the Bruiser Camp is finished as the Immortal arrives. Now they're going to be a little bit behind, so a Solid School will have a little bit of time to just DPS on it. And another strength of their team composition as the Lunar Flare does land onto Jazz. Revolving Sweep as well. Just half the HP of Jazz taken down just as their poke. And that's why this team composition's to be feared. They had level 7 talent advantage as well, but it will be difficult to fight into the core. They have taken down the wall, and the core should get taken to a little bit less. About 3/4 HP. Now the level 7 talents are available for a Solid School, but now they have this down onto Mundane Zebra. Revolving Sweep, gonna get hit on Jazz. But Hero's here, so it's 4v5. But Azuriel's low, jumps in with the teleport. But will get the reset as Azuriel. One more hit, but the hit does not land. The multi-shot Delta trying to get the extra kill, but the heal is gonna come out. And with the teleport, Azuriel gonna be the one to finish it off. Now Christinator is getting jumped upon, but no further follow. It's gonna be a 2-0 for a Solid School as they're able to bring something back. And because of those 2 kills, they'll also have time to take the Siege Camp. They'll have time to maybe take their Bruiser Camp. They still haven't taken that either. But it doesn't look like that's their play. Robbed, in the meanwhile, going to be taking the top lane Siege Camp. Hero looking to play aggressively into it, but Drinking Bird is here for the support. No one else has a global except for Hero, so will be safe. So the Siege Camps are going to get traded across the map. So besides the 2 kills, no real advantage coming out from a Solid School. Now they are bringing 4 members top and are starting to siege onto this wall. But that could be a dangerous proposition because their fort is open in this bot lane. And now Fada and Drinking Bird both positioning it away to try and slow down this rotation coming out from Team Happy Cloud. Just going to allow a little bit of extra poke, but Christinator might be in a bad spot. Christinator jumps away, but will be okay. But now Hero in the backline goes into stakes. They have the stun. They have the cleanse for Delta. And now they're both trying to get away. Delta's in a bad spot. Going to get stunned. The drag is going to land. And that's going to be another kill for a Solid School. And Azuriel dealing so much poke damage as well. But luckily, both Fade and Christinator will have the well. As Rob gets a decent amount of poke damage onto the fort in the top lane. When it's 4v5. Oh, but Jazz able to get that kill. And they're just going to be able to knock down both healers from Team Happy Cloud. Level 10 advantage for Team Happy Cloud, but it doesn't matter when you're short members. Now the heroic ability still not out. They just need a little bit more soak. And Hero should be able to get that this wave. And it's already the halfway point, and almost no damage has been done by Team Happy Cloud, but they are looking towards Hero. They have the Rain of Vengeance, and they're able to slow down Hero. Hero is going to be solo, trying to heal back up, but now Jazz and the rest of the squad is here, and Drinking Bird gotta go down. Dragon Strike going out over the top. Jet Propulsion going to land on it too. Rob is pretty tanky, should be able to walk away for now, but with the dodge on the Stormhammer should be okay. Now the healers are out. Hand of Justice as well, and another stun onto Jazz. Mundane Zebra also in a bad spot, but now Fade maybe clawed out and will get taken down. A Solid School playing solidly. They're just walking as a team, and once they get an advantage, they're pushing it so far. Give them an inch, they take a mile. But now Delta and Christinator are trying to get a little bit of extra race, but Jazz not a fan of that. And in fact, they will be able to take down the Tyrande once again, and they're going to pull them all back in as well. Drinking Bird just in a bad spot, but it doesn't matter because they're going to take down the Blaze. And it's another 3 kills for a Solid School, and they should be able to win the race here. Now Jazz also going to aggro onto the Bruiser Camp. So they're going to get everything on the map right now. And Team Happy Cloud, they had the lead, but they're starting to fall behind. A full level lead for a Solid School, and that's before this push starts coming out for real. And Hero's going to make sure it's already shoved into the top side, but the Immortal will be spawning towards the bottom. Now, all members except for Rob are going to be coming down here to try and clear it away. And the issue is because it is the auto attack build, they're not going to be able to clear it out quite as fast on the defense as well. Now, Muddy Zebra going to get hit by the Lunar Flare, Starfall as well, just being used to poke away at the Immortal. And it's a full shield Immortal. It's something I did not mention when they were able to get, but now Jazz going in, able to get the stun on it too. The cleanse is coming out. Dragon Strike just going to be used to split the fight up, but the D-Shield going to keep Drinking Bird alive. But this Immortal, before losing its shield, has already taken down the fort. Fade going to dodge onto the plate, but Fade is still in a bad spot. Gonna get body block. Rain of Vengeance over top. But with the cleanse, Jazz will be able to back away in time. Azuriel still positioning aggressively. The shield still alive. Gonna get finished off now, but the wall already in a bad spot. Hero looking for the Dragon to rob. Level 13 talent advantage right now for a Solid School. And the Immortal is still pushing. The wall is gone. Half the regular HP left. Lunar Flare gonna land on a Hero. But Jazz able to get the stun onto Fade. And the Rain of Vengeance over top. Fade is in a bad spot. And with the Scarlet Aegis. But Jazz is going to be the first to go down. Fade is still healing through. And they're okay. But in the backline, that's where the real damage is going on. 4 members gone for a Solid School. Drinking Bird chasing the 5th. They will lose their keep, though. A Solid School trade most of their team for the entire bot lane of Team Happy Cloud. I'd say that's still a worthy trade for a Solid School. There's not much left on the map. Team Happy Cloud, they cannot trade evenly on this. Now they're going to try and take this bottom fort, try to get at least something for themselves. But while they're doing that, Hero is just wailing away on their top lane fort. Not going to be able to take it down, but it's going to be a solid amount of poke. And now the Siege Camp and the Bruiser Camp are both available for Team Happy Cloud. And Hero's going to be looking towards the Siege Camp over on the top side. Rob is going to be there as well, but Rob's just going to be collecting the soak and pushing out this lane. Rob knows that they're not showing on bot side. That means they're probably up here. Just trying to scout out, sees Hero, and they are pinging it. The Sentinel not going to catch any of them, but they will get the ping that the Siege Camp has been finished. Now both sides going to have their pushing lanes. Hero in the brush will get scouted out by the oil spill. Twin stream as well. Jazz looking to play aggressively. Gonna land the Stormhammer, but it's just on a Rob. Hand of Justice as well. And they have the channeled stun on a Jazz. Jazz going to get cleansed away, but now Hero in a bad spot. Going to land the drag, but the D-Shield is already out. But the Dragon Strike is in a very good spot. It is that choke point. But with the bunker, they will be okay. They should be able to reset. And the health advantage definitely in favor of Team Happy Cloud. They're looking to keep playing aggressively. Cursenator going to cancel Jazz's trade as the Avatar has also been popped. Every ultimate traded by both these two teams, but none of them are going to be taken out quite yet. And now Rob trying to walk forward, not going to be able to quite yet as Azuriel gets hit with the Sentinel. Not going to be a lot of folk, but it's always fun when that ability lands. Hero might be a bit too far forward, but Fade not going to be able to land the Hammer of Justice. But the race has already begun, and right now, Team Happy Cloud is losing. They need to start DPSing, or they need to start fighting now. Rob just trying to get in the way, but they do have the stun on a Hero. No follow-up. And now both these sides are trying to race for these Immortals. This is the hardest one to show on camera due to the positioning. But we're going to try. Luckily, half time, and it's slightly in favor of Team Happy Cloud right now. And this is a defensive spawn for both these two teams. Now they're going to start pushing it. And it looks like Team Happy Cloud, they do have the inner track. But now they have the revolving sweep. Just going to be landing on a Jazz. But now Hero's over in the backline. And Rob might be getting caught out. Will not have the bunker for 3 more seconds. Trying to stay alive. And will be with the Dragon Strike over top. Bunker. Not enough time. Just constantly CC'd. But now Fade's starting to get caught out. Delta's also in a terrible spot. Fade's going to go down. Delta is sure to follow. And they're not going to be able to win the race. Just 2k HP left. And now the entire squad of a Solid School, 3-0, level 16 advantage. They're just going to start wailing away at these Immortals. Now, luckily for Team Happy Cloud, they did manage to get a ton of damage onto this Immortal before halftime and even a little bit after halftime. So it's not going to be a big shield this time. But at the same time, they struggle to clear it. They have an auto attack Vala, which is definitely good in team fights. but struggles a bit more to take down these Immortals.
Radiates through this land.
And all they have is the wall and the keep. And last time, this is the exact health bar the Immortal used. Only this time, the Immortal's more powerful, and a Solid School have a talent advantage. This could be a very difficult defense coming out from them. Now, a little kiss for Mundane Zebra. Going to not really care too much about it. Just going to be a little bit of poke, but it's mostly for the vision. But now the fight's going to start. Azuriel going to be able to get a lot of damage over onto these structures. Now the Immortal already lost the shielding. Is going to be in melee form right now, but the Arcane Orb's dealing so much damage to these buildings. Half HP, and that's what they got the key with last time. Dragon Strike just for zoning. Hero looking to go in aggressively, but the chain CC is going to be enough. And Hero will go down, and with that, Team Happy Cloud should be able to defend this keep. They're still going to lose a lot of HP on it, about half. But can they find anything out? Christinator still looking to play aggressively, still running forward. Will vault forward, just trying to hit them. But they don't have any ranged crowd control that they can really reach. Rob looking for the slow, but it's just on to Jazz. But they will be able to get the stun. And Lunar Flare and the Hand of Justice. Revolving sweep as well. Jazz going to be so low, but the Crimson Angels comes out in time. Going to be able to survive the burst, and now they're trying to get back on a Rob. And over the backside, Mundane Zebra will be able to run over top. But with the DPS, they're able to take down Jazz, and the tank doesn't look super tanky. Kira at half HP as well from one combo from Christinator. And this Vala is scaling up. Level 16 now hit by Team Happy Cloud. And they have a little bit of an opportunity to try and close this XP gap just a little bit. Mundane Zebra in a bad spot. As Christinator gonna be hit with the D-Shield, but will be a little bit more passive beforehand. Now Mundane Zebra will be ready to jump over the wall, but Drinking Bird already getting ready for that eventuality. And now Lunar Flare. Now they have the stun. And even with the cleanse doesn't matter because you can't cleanse damage. And Team Happy Cloud going to continue staggering these death timers. And with these staggered death timers, they're going to be in an even better position to try and close this XP lead. Kirstinator almost hit by the drag, but with double healer and with the amount of cleanses they have, that shouldn't be too big of a threat as long as they're not able to pull behind the wall. But now one of the cannon towers going down, and they're actually the same level. The lead is now less than one level, and the Bruiser Camp is going to get started by Team Happy Cloud. They're on an even talent advantage. It is 4v5. This is the time for them to go, especially since they're down a DPS into a double healer comp. Now, Jazz looking to play aggressively, but they have the chain CC and will take down Jazz. Drinking Bird does get pulled by the drag, but the wall is still up. They cannot pull further than the wall, and the Bruiser Camp also going to get stolen. A quarter of a level difference now, and another staggered death timer. Team Happy Cloud just bringing this back. And now they're going to be able to start racing onto this Immortal. And this Immortal should definitely be able to get them at least something. And now with that being said, it is going to be the halftime. They have their own Bruiser Camp to take. Team Happy Cloud going to immediately get onto that. They want to have as much XP, as much push power as possible. But at the same time, Mundane Zebra, they want to prevent that for a Solid School. They're going to start working onto the top lane siege camp. Hero already positioned to take the bot lane siege camp. So that should be 2 Bruiser Camps traded for 2 siege camps. The Bruisers are definitely stronger. So it will slow down the push for Team Happy Cloud, but it will not prevent it. Now the final second half gonna be finished off here, and this is gonna be a full HP and full shield Immortal, 33,000 health. Now the team is gonna start grouping top at first just to help clear away this siege camp. The Immortal's gonna spawn to the bot side, and all 5 members of a Solid School are there. And they could try to do a 4-1. Just let the Immortal push over on the bot side, and they're gonna push top. And that does seem to be their play right now. And a Solid School, they have to respond to this. It's just going to be Hero and Mundane Zebra hitting onto the Immortal, but that Immortal has a lot of HP. It'll definitely be able to get some damage done to the bottom. And now the Bruiser Camp is going to be here. And the wall is starting to take a lot of damage. Should not last for too much longer. Azuriel very good at throwing everything down. But now Hero looking for Christinator. Christinator gonna be cleansed away. Will be safe. But now the stun does land on a Fade. The stun as well going back. And now Christinator can start DPSing. And now the Cure gonna be caught in a bad spot. And they will be able to get the final hit. No, the healing comes out in time. Crimson Aegis Armor just too powerful. Rob gonna get stunned underneath. But they were able to take down Mundane Zebra during that. And now Hero in a bad spot as well. Gonna get stopped. And doesn't matter with the cleanse. The damage is just too fast. And Team Happy Cloud may have done it. It's 5v3, level 20s on both sides. Fade just tanking the keep for the last little bit. Same with Delta. And with the double healer, you can tank as long as you want. The Vol talent actually going to be taken for the level 20. Just trying to get as much burst damage. And now they're looking to the core. And the bottom keep does not go down, but Team Happy Cloud doesn't really seem to care. They're playing aggressively. They got the stun under Jazz. Lunar Flare as well. Jet Propulsion. Not going to get anything else. Chrisinator still trying to DPS. Just trying to vault away. But Jazz going to land the stun, but cleansed immediately. The DPS is still coming through. 9 seconds until Mundane Zebra's back up. Can they defend against this? They're trying. They have so much damage coming through. Chrisinator will get stunned, and Chrisinator will get taken down. 4 people still attacking. Carnage coming through. 3 left, but they will be able to do it. Team Happy Cloud win game number 1. And the game summary is the first and only place I get to take a breath in that entire game. 30 kills in 18 and a half minutes. Both sides were just going back and forth nonstop. But there was just one moment where a Solid School just kind of walked in one by one. Team Happy Cloud, they punished that. They took the advantage. And with those staggered death timers, they were able to take the advantage and push it in for the win. Now we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, there's going to be yet another game of this, which I don't know about you, but I'm super excited to see. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be back soon. Welcome back, everyone, as we are heading into game number 2 between A Solid School and Team Happy Cloud. Map 2 is going to be the Infernal Shrines. And actually, I looked a bit closer at the standings. And if Team Happy Cloud are able to win this series, whether it's a domination or not, they will, at least temporarily, be able to hold that second position in the Heroic Division. Really, whichever of these two teams win is going to be ranked second in the league, which says quite a bit. Heroic Division is very competitive. But now the bans are already starting to come through. A Solid School going to ban away the Chromie, and Team Happy Cloud going to ban away the Dahaka. Lucio once again banned by A Solid School. And Hogger going to be the final ban for Team Happy Cloud. Now the Hogger is different, but I suspect because it's Infernal Shrines, with the Hog Wild able to just kind of free DPS, free clear during all the objectives, it's probably the single most powerful ability on this map, individual ability, from any hero, including the Heroics, I'd argue. But now Jazz going to insta-lock the Diablo. Gonna be the big, beefy boy in the front. Coming straight from hell to make life hell for Team Happy Cloud. But now 3peaks going to be coming through soon from Team Happy Cloud. And I'm wondering what kind of team composition they're going to do this time. I suspect double healer is not going to be quite as good here. And it seems they agree with me. Leoric and Mephisto. Mephisto's a very interesting pick, but I guess with Diablo already locked in, it wouldn't make sense to take the Anubarak and Chromie's banned. Now, those are the two really hard counters to Mephisto. Everything else is kind of playable. And Mephisto deals a lot of damage, so in the correct hands, it's a very powerful healer, or hero. And speaking of healer, though, Uther going to be locked in for the Cure, and Greymane locked in for Azuriel. So they're going to be able to deal quite a bit of damage. And now waiting for the next set of bans. I'm thinking, what will Team Happy Cloud want to get rid of? They probably could get rid of an offlaner here, or maybe a flex. Greymane is kind of that standard DPS. And they're going to get rid of Junkrat. Makes a lot of sense. Junkrat, not fun to play into. And now Ana gonna get banned away once again by A Solid School. It seems they do not want to play into that hero for some reason. Maybe they're just a little bit scary. Fade able to play that quite well for Team Happy Cloud. And I wonder what their next set of picks is going to be. And actually, yeah, Oriel gonna go all the way through the draft. Joanna gonna get locked in here as well for main tank. So Fade and 275 Delta gonna be playing here for that. So it is going to be Fade main tanking and Delta as the main healer. In my defense, that's my first time casting Team Happy Cloud this season. And when you do a double healer comp, it is a little bit hard to tell sometimes. So that's my excuse for it anyway. And final pick's going to be the Sonya for hero and the Falstad for Mundane Zebra. So they're going to have that cross map play available due to Mundane Zebra. And Sonya, obviously with Leap, going to be super powerful during teamfights. Assuming they do go with Leap and not Wrath of the Berserker. But into Leoric Joanna, Wrath of the Berserker could actually be decent if it's a short range fight. But with Gul'dan locked in for Drinking Bird, might not be quite short range. Being able to jump onto the backline could definitely have its merits. But that's going to be the draft for today. So before we head into game number 2, I would like to give a quick shout out to our new sponsor, 3peaks Tiki Solitaire, or Tiki Solitaire 3peaks. They go both ways. Download for free today. Hit the goals to help support this stream as we head into game number 2. All right, and we are into game number 2 between A Solid School and Team Happy Cloud.
10 seconds.
Now, both sides do seem to be bringing all 10 members straight to the mid lane to start off.
3,
And we're going to see if they actually start fighting. It's rare where there is a kill during these mid lane matchups. these mid lane meetings, but it's always fun when it does happen. And now it does seem like the side of a Solid School are going to start playing a bit more conservatively, just trying to get a little bit of vision going from both sides, trying to see where the lane could transition. But they are going to be sending Mundane Zebra to the top side, and it is going to be the auto attack Falstad. Has frequent flyer build coming through, and it's going to be Skull Missile coming in for the Mephisto for Crisinator. Now Jazz gonna get the stun onto Fade, but Fade will still be able to walk in, get the Condemn onto 3 actually, and Azuriel and the Cure gonna get decent poke from the Crisinator. They will be able to heal back up, so it's not that big a deal, but that's still gonna be poking away at the mana bar from the Cure. Now Hero actually hiding in the brush, but they not going to be able to land the Detainment Strike. The Corruption dealing so much damage. Save the Condemn. Hero actually gets hit quite low. I didn't think they would have the DPS, but I think if the Detainment Strike landed, they could have actually won that fight. And now Zuriel trying to sneak away the Siege Camp over in the bot lane. Bane and Crisinator are here, but it doesn't seem like they're aware this is happening, as Drinking Bird and Delta going to take their own Siege Camp. And now Skull Missile already at 3 stacks. Frequent Flyer at 2. And the Siege Camp from the side of Team Happy Cloud is going to be taken. And it seems like Assault School will be able to get that small advantage with a 2-to-1 Siege Camp take. They will have the push in mid and a bot side. As Rob gonna get finished off by Mundane Zebra. That's going to be an extra stack from Mundane Zebra. Not to mention the XP and the lane control. Luckily, it is the Leoric, so Team Happy Cloud will be able to reset up top soon. I think that might be one of the first times I actually caught those picks. But now Fade gonna get pulled back, but Fade doesn't really care. Jazz and the Cure gonna get hit as well. Hero, sorry. Trying to spin in front of the team, but will be hit by the Detainment Strike. And the Skull Missiles still slowly stacking up. 40 is the big one. 20 is gonna be the first real milestone coming out from the Mephisto. Now Hero just spinning to winning over in the bot lane. Rob might be grouping towards the mid lane. I don't know if they have an opportunity for a pick here, though. But important to note as well, the first shrine is going to be on the top side and will be spawning in 30 seconds. So the Bruiser Camp already started by Solid School, as Team Happy Cloud want to get the push in the bot lane first. Now they're scouting forward. They do see Hero, and Hero might be getting caught out here. Will get the Detainment Strike, but not into the wall. The Condemn is going to land Corruption as well, but now Jazz is here to help. But now Jazz might be the one that's getting a little bit caught out. Does have the spell armor for now, but now it's going to go away. But the entire squad of Team Happy Cloud is here. Drinking Bird fighting against Hero, trying to sustain against each other, but it is going to be Hero going down first. But Crisinator also getting taken down low. Will use Shades of Mephisto just to buy some time. Will get finished off too. But now the Fell Flame just going out over the top by Drinking Bird, but Fade getting taken down low. Hammer of Justice, and it's going to be a 2-to-1 for a Solid School in that trade. Luckily, during that, Rob able to push out this Bruiser Camp, but I say luckily, but that was the play started by Team Happy Cloud. They didn't start their own Bruiser Camp to make that play happen, and that play was won by a Solid School. Huge moves there, just good mechanics, and then having the Falstad be there first. Rob wasn't able to join the fight. The Flight is a very powerful ability, and turning that into a 4v5. Hero was the first to go down, so the play did work as intended originally. It just ended up going the wrong way, but now level 7 talents are hit by a Solid School. Not quite there yet, but now it's going to be coming through right here. Now Jazz going to get hit into the wall. The Cure also trying to get quite low, and they're able to push them away. And Rob looking for the play, but now Delta's getting pinged upon. They're trying to take down the Oriole, and Jazz is going to be able to pull it back with the overpowered. They will get the kill. Mundane Zebra able to run away, but with the Lightning Nova, will be able to take that down, and they will take the Cure as well. 2 for 1 for Team Happy Cloud as they trade back the healer and a DPS for good measure, and now the Condemn on to 3 members. Lightning Nova as well, and Azuriel starting to get quite low. Rob trying to auto it with the Drain Hope will force Azuriel to back off, and with no healer there, Azuriel will just have to fully reset. Now Hero is just dancing in this backline. Fade is going to be there, going to slow down the healing. Jazz trying to play aggressively as well. Hero's in a bad spot, and actually Rob getting taken out quite low, but they're not going to be able to finish the kill. Delta is going to be here now as well, going to start healing up the team. Crisinator will land a couple more skull missiles, already at 23 stacks by the way, and the Frozen Punisher actually goes the way of a Solid School. And now they're looking to play aggressively. Jazz has the stomp, but has the lowered healing as well. Crisinator in a very bad spot and will get hit by the Punisher. and will get punished by Azuriel. That's going to be another kill going over to a Solid School. And with this push, they're going to be able to take at least this wall, especially since they were able to get that extra pick off right before. Now the wall is gone. The Punisher's at half HP. And it's all 5 members top, and Team Happy Cloud, they're scared to walk up. They aren't even talents, but with the Punisher, extra stun, and the DPS coming through, they're worried to try defending this fort. So that's going to be a free building coming out from a Solid School. And they're going to keep pushing a little bit. They're going to use this pressure to steal away this Bruiser camp as well. So Solid School going to be in a solid position, as they're going to have a full level lead right now. And with this extra steal, they should be in a much better spot. Level 10 is going to be out for them. They have the heroic abilities unlocked. Hero already on this bot lane siege camp. Mundane Zebra looking to play aggressively. You shouldn't be able to solo out that siege camp. But they will have a little bit of poke onto Rob, not too much. 15 stacks on the frequent flyer. But now this entire team is just going to position bot side to take the siege camp. And because they don't have level 10 on Team Happy Cloud, they're just going to have to give it. Crusader trying to get a couple of Skull Missile stacks there. And once that 40 Skull Missiles does hit, Crusader is going to be even more powerful. But really needs that level 16 talent to get the full value of this build. So until then, Crusader is going to be still strong, but not as strong as the Mephisto could be. And now they have the bottom wall pushed in by Solid School, looking for the fort, but they're just going to let the siege camp hit away at it. Not going to be too much damage, but they will get a little bit of poke towards it. And they still have their own siege camp to pick up, so it's Solid School going to bring a lot of its members, as Jazz actually has the flank. They do have this play. They're on a Crusader and will actually interrupt the Durance. Lightning Breath over top of the Horrify is going to get a bunch of them. Hero jumps into the backline looking for Delta, but Delta is okay. The Entomb over on the top side of the map, but we're focusing over on the spot side. Rob looking for the play. The Durance not going to land. No one going to go down in that fight, but 4 ultimates to 2. Team Happy Cloud has to expend more for that play. And interestingly enough, it is going to be the Falling Sword ultimate or heroic coming out from Fade. It's not one that I've actually ever seen in NGS. But so I'm curious what the logic for it is. I know it does work as a massive cleanse at level 20, and I'm wondering if that's the reason, just trying to protect Delta. And yeah, it's going to be a mini stun once it lands, but obviously that's not the purpose of it. Now Fade going to help clear away this bot side. Level 13 talents are going to be coming out soon for a Solid School, and I believe this Punisher should be spawning soon as well. Team Happy Cloud definitely going to want to try and get as many levels, as much XP as possible until then. Now they will be able to take a little bit of the bot side wall. That'll help a little bit, but level 13 now hit by Solid School. Only level 11 for Team Happy Cloud right now. They're close to level 12. With all of the camps being stolen, every single camp right now is blue. A Solid School have managed to steal everything off the map. There is a big wave in topside, so Rob will be able to get a decent amount of XP going back the other way. But now Fade going to just use the Condemn over the mid lane. They're just trying to get as much XP as possible. And now Rob in a bad spot, actually going to get quite low, but not going to commit anything else. But they are looking towards Mundane Zebra. Rob going to be walking forward, just trying to bait Mundane Zebra in, and it worked. They have the Detainment Strike, knocking back Mundane Zebra. The Gust is going to come through, and with the Horrify, we'll get the Fear, cancel the Flight, and Mundane Zebra is going to be taken down. But they're already on the objective, and Flight will be available once Mundane Zebra is back, and they're so far away they may not be able to get right into the play. They had to burn the Horrify for it, but the Gust also not going to be back up. But Hero does get hit by the Durance, but it's not going to matter too much. Just hit onto Hero, and Hero can tank it up. But now the Condemn does land. D-Shield going to be used on a Zero. Lightning Breath going out over top. Rob just going to dodge away from it, but the Punisher gets finished off by Solid School, and no pickoffs are going to go the other way. 33 stacks now on the Skull Missile, and 22 on the Frequent Flyer. But now Crusader just trying to poke the backline with the Lightning Nova, with the Skull Missiles. 35 stacks now, getting very close to that 40. But this bottom fort will get finished off by Solid School. Still about 2/3 HP on the Punisher. Well, 63%. I have the exact number here. Maybe I should read. But now the Mortar Punisher going to be taking down this bot side wall. The jump going to get picked up by Fade. And Christinator just trying to get a couple more stacks. 37 now before the second charge of Skull Missile comes through. And having those two charges raises not only the damage from Skull Missile, but it also lowers the cooldowns on all the other abilities, assuming that the Skull Missiles do land. But on average, it will help a little bit. Christinator looking for the play now. They're on to Mundane Zebra, just trying to poke them away. But now the bot side siege camp, once again, stolen by Solid School. And they're going to take this middle siege camp in the bot side as well. But Team Happy Cloud, this time, at the very least, they'll be able to secure their own bruiser camp. They are in the same talent tier right now, but the issue is they're not on the same building tier. A Solid School has passive pushing on the top side, passive pushing on the bot side. And Mundane Zebra just being a nuisance, constantly making sure this top lane is shoved in. So this Team Happy Cloud, they have to deal with it, but Rob can't 1v1 it. Mundane Zebra will win on the trades, always. And as it gets later into the game, it's only going to get worse. 25 stacks as level 16 now achieved by Solid School here, looking to play aggressive. Christinator trying to get a little bit of poke, still at 37 stacks, still needs 3 more. Fade gonna get the condemn, but it's on to Jazz, not the target you want. And Drinking Bird is gonna group up here as well. Christinator just trying to poke and pull away this wave using the Lightning Nova. Fade gonna get the condemn, gonna be able to take down one more of these siege minions. And they might be able to fight if it's underneath a structure, but now the Skull Missiles will land on 2, just needs 1 more stack for that double charge. They will be able to successfully defend their mid lane for now. And the final charge finally hit Christinator. Going to have that second charge of Lightning Nova. And once this level 16 comes through, that's when Team Happy Cloud is going to spike. And level 20 going to be even scarier for them. Because the thing with the Solid School's team composition is their level 20s aren't that much better than their level 10s. Like, it's going to be strong. It's definitely going to help. The Wind Tunnel, definitely better than Gust. But the difference between that and Entomb that silences is quite massive. As Christinator, we got the Lightning Nova on multiple members. They have the stun onto Jazz, and the Corruption just going to poke them away. Level 16 now hit by Team Happy Cloud. And this is where it is. Lightning Reaction. This is the talent on the Mephisto. Christinator will be able to deal tons of damage during these team fights, and doesn't even have to land the Skull Missiles. It just has to be close enough. It makes team fights a lot simpler, a lot easier, and a lot deadlier for Team Happy Cloud. Now the Bruiser Camp is going to get finished off by Azuro and the Cure, so they're going to have the top lane passively pushing. As meanwhile, there is a fight starting to brew. Fade looking for the play. Hero is already on the backline looking at Drinking Bird. As Drinking Bird will dismount, but they're looking towards Delta. And now Christinator is going to land the combo, and now they're just trying to DPS Mundane Zebra. Christinator now in a bad spot, Lightning Breath, but with the extra shield, they should be okay. And Entomb lands on a Jazz, but the Gust is going to keep Christinator in such a bad spot, and they're not able to fight. They're able to take down the healer as well. The Condemn is going to take down Cure, but Cure can still heal from the grave, as Drinking Bird able to deal so much damage. But that's where the difference comes through. Drinking Bird's the last survivor. Everyone's low, but it doesn't matter. Drinking Bird will go down. Corruption will finish off Mundane Zebra, but it's still a 2-for-5. A Solid School winning out hard in the team fight. Their Bruiser Camp's shoving top, and the Shrines are active. This is a perfect spot to be in. They should be able to get this Arcane Punisher for themselves, and then push that in for the fort, and maybe even more. Now Rob will be respawning in about 10 seconds alongside 2 other members. This keep, I'm not sure if they'll be able to save it in time. It's going to take some good damage. Christinator might be able to just clear this out quickly, and they will be able to keep this keep alive, but it's at a quarter HP. If this Punisher is strong enough to take down this mid lane, then they will definitely be in a spot where they could just transition straight to the top keep, or maybe even the end of the game. Now, I'm wondering if they're going to try holding this to 39 skeletons and then just try and get the level 20s and push with that final lead. Just go for the not the Hail Mary, but go for the finishing blow. That's a better way to put it. And Assault School, yeah, they're holding it to 39. They still have waves pushing into them in top, but no, actually, they're going to decide to finish it off themselves. They still need about half a level, but maybe they think the mid lane fort is pretty safe. They can still collect waves, and now Mundane Zebra looking for a possible play, but just going to be scouting. Just going to be looking for the bait play. Level 20 still not hit. But the issue is Fade's just trying to shove out this boss. The Arcane Punisher is already here. And Crusader just trying to get some poke onto the backline. And we'll be able to get a decent bit, but the Cure able to just heal it up. And since they have those health orbs spawning, they'll definitely be able to get it in their favor as well. Now the mid lane keep definitely going to be going down. Now the jump does land on a Rob. Rob has to back away. Level 20s have been hit. Now Solid School in a good position. Are they going to look for this top lane keep, or are they going to look for the end? But it looks like they're going to go with neither. Just trying to play back a bit. Crusader is trying to get some poke, but the leap will land immediately onto Crystinator, and the Crystal Aegis will prevent the kill, and the Lightning Breath over top, but Crystinator, they're pulling so much damage onto it that the rest of the team is just DPSing back. They've already lost 2, and the Wind Tunnel is going to prevent any further play, but Team Happy Cloud able to get 2 kills from that play. But the Cure going to respawn, has that level 20 with the Redemption. It's a 180-second cooldown, so they cannot rely on it. And they will be able to steal the Bruiser Camp. And now Rob looking to play forward. They have the Corruption on a Jazz. And now Rob is in the background. They have the Entertainment Strike onto the Cure once again. If they can take down the Cure, the D-Shield has already been used in the backline, but they're able to take down the Gul'dan. Now Hero is on to Delta, and Delta is in a bad spot. Will get taken down as well. And it's just Rob and Fade. They don't have any DPS. Rob is gone. Mundane Zebra playing aggressively, just autoing onto Fade. And with 39 stacks, these autos hurt. And that should probably be the game. They're going to finish off Fade. They're going to finish off the top keep. And they're going to finish off Team Happy Cloud in game number 2. And this means we are going to have that third and final map going into this game. Unless Crusader can do some magic, we'll be able to get a little bit of poke into the backline. Mundane Zebra going to get taken down pretty low. But Jazz just trying to keep Crusader away from the fight. And the last little bits of DPS will finally land. And that is going to be game number 3 coming up shortly. And there you have it. Very well played by a Solid School. And this series just keeps on giving so many good team fights, so many good opportunities. But with that, we are going to go to our third and final break, where we're going to find out which of these 2 teams is going to be deserving of that second place in the heroic standings. We'll be back after the break, so don't go anywhere.
driving around town, doing a lot of usual stuff, but there was a cow looking like it was using tall wooden legs. It appeared from time to time to say, like, yeah, I know you can do it. You have my trust. When I was little, I had a tree outside my bedroom window, and the moonlight spread.
Cursed Hollow.
And we are into our third and final map between a solid school and Team Happy Cloud. It is going to be Cursed Hollow. Now, red side gonna be banning first. Means this was selected by a solid school. And they will ban away the Diablo. They definitely don't want Jazz playing that again. It was banned away in game number 1. They let Jazz play it in game number 2. And Jazz played amazingly, to put it lightly. So, not surprising to see that getting taken away. Now, assuming the same bans, we will see the Chromie and then the Lucio ban coming out from a solid school. Though they may decide to ban away the Dahaka instead. I don't know if Rob plays it, but I assume does play Dahaka. And on Cursed Hollow, it's a very powerful pick. They're gonna, if the Dahaka isn't banned away here, they're gonna have to leave one or the other open. Now Team Happy Cloud, they're going to decide to instead ban the Uther. Gonna prevent the Cure from playing that. It's a very high CC tank. So not too surprised to see that removed as well. Now Lucio is going to be the ban. So Dahaka is available if Team Happy Cloud want it. And Rob going to insta-lock it. And that's what I was talking about. Dahaka is way too good on Cursed Hollow. There's a reason why it's either first pick or banned. And I think first pick for Team Happy Cloud is very good there, because it does put a solid school in a situation where they have to give one of them. But as a reply, they're going to be able to get the Joanna and the Oriole, both very strong picks in their own right. And the next two picks are going to be coming out shortly. Though they still need basically most of their team composition, and I'm wondering which way they want to start building their draft. Globals are quite powerful here, so maybe... I don't really see Brightwing too often, but Brightwing could be good for this map. And it's actually going to be the Anubarak for Fade and the Hanzo for Christinator. Both very solid picks. Anubarak, very good at getting pickoffs. Hanzo, very good at just dealing DPS. I think that's the best way to describe Hanzo. It is just a good DPS. Able to take down tanks, able to burst down squishy members. If you want more damage, go Dragon Strike. If you want more lockdown, you go Dragon Arrow. Hanzo can do it all. Now Mephisto going to be the third ban from a solid school, and this does mean that the Ana has been left open this time. I don't know if that's something Team Happy Cloud will go for on this map, or if they're a bit worried they'll get jumped on in the back, because they were able to focus down 275 Delta in last game pretty heavily during the fights. Hero was saving Leap and Ancient Spear just for that. And the Greymane is going to be taken away from Azuriel. As once again, Azuriel had an absolutely fantastic Greymane game in that second game. Now, Solid School haven't really shown what their lineup's going to be. Oriole and Joanna just kind of good in every situation. Still pretty available. Now, I'm trying to think of what DPSs they could try and select here. Junkrat's available if they want that. But no, they're going to go Sonya once again for Hero and Lunara for Azuriel. The Lunara, very good at taking down Hanzos, is able to chase him down with Leaping Strike, has so much burst to get those kills. And Sonya, once again, also very good at fighting in the backline. And we saw how well Hero could play that hero in the in game number 2. Being able to constantly jump onto 275 Delta and Christinator. But it's going to be the Genji locked in for Drinking Bird. And as expected, the Anduin to follow. They're going to have the pretty standard Light Bomb combo. But it's standard because, well, it's very hard to dodge. Genji can decide where it's going to hit with that X-Strike Light Bomb combination. So if they're able to burst down the Cure or Azuriel during that, that could definitely help their team fight out. It's going to be very difficult for a Solid School to play it. But their final pick is going to be the Sergeant Hammer. Now, that's a bit interesting to me because from my recollection, Anubarak is actually pretty good into Sergeant Hammer. Not able to really tank up the Sergeant Hammer too well, but should be able to get the lockdown on it consistently. Because it doesn't matter how fast you are, how many cleanses you have, the cocoon will land. But should still be a pretty good game. We had a banger game 1 and 2. And let's have an absolutely amazing game number 3. And we are just loading in to game number 3 between a solid school and Team Happy Cloud. Second place in the heroic division, up for grabs to whoever's able to win it. Not to mention having the head-to-head between these two teams that are currently pretty close to the standings. Now, as I say that, it is still pretty early. I believe this is the 4th game for both of these two teams, so still quite a bit of the season left to go. But at this point, it's time to make a stand. It's time to show what it is you're going to be doing for this season. And Mundane Zebra looks like actually going to be positioning in the offlane as that Sergeant Hammer. Will be matching against Rob. Now, Chris Nader immediately going to grab that watchtower as the rest of the team goes mid lane through the bot side. Now, they will be able to spot it out thanks to the Sentinel from Lunar. I believe it's called Sentinel. That's a Wisp. Okay. Very different. But now Fade going to be walking forward. It is 3v4 over in this melee. But actually, Rob going to get the solo kill on the top side during all that. Sergeant Hammer does not matter. Haka's the best hero in the game. And with that, they're going to be able to get a pretty solid push on the top side. Rob's still going to be pushing a little bit slowly this early on. But that's still going to be a little bit of missed soak. And now Fade going to grab that watchtower as well. And that soak shouldn't be completely missed, but there will be at least a little bit of the small globules picked up by a solid school. But now the fight's starting to break out in mid lane just a little bit. Just a little bit of poke going back and forth. Now, out of the stacking talents, it is just going to be simple geometry from Drinking Bird. Just the standard Hanzo things, as Krishnator is going to be pushing out bot side. Now, the camps have been started. A solid school, Hero and the Cure, already looking towards their Bruiser camp. Fade in position to invade, but I wonder if it's something they can do. Jazz also looking for this here. Delta's here as well. And now they're looking towards Jazz. They have the Impale. The Chastise not going to land due to the Iron Skin, but they will be able to get a decent amount of poke. And now every member is going to be here except for the Dahaka, who will have the brush target, but they do have this stun on a Crusader. Crusader will be okay. Leap of Faith actually pulls Crusader a little bit back in, but with the healing they have onto Jazz. Jazz starting to get low. Rob looking at the back and will be able to take down Jazz. Crusader jumps in trying to cancel the take, but the Bruiser camp is going to go the way of a solid school, but they're looking for more. Fade got to get hit into the wall. Containment Strike is trying to spin away. And Fade gonna get hit by the cannon towers, and that's gonna be enough DPS for them. And now Delta in a bad spot as well, but no further lockdown. We'll be able to back away, but that, I believe that was a 2-for-1 for a solid school, and they were able to keep their own Bruiser camp alive and in their hands. And now it's just gonna be Delta and Drinking Bird trying to defend here, but neither of them really have good wave clear quite yet. I believe level 4, yeah, it's gonna be serrated arrows. So not going to have that extra wave clear from the Q. And now Rob just going to be shoving out the top lane. Still going to be getting them a decent amount of soak from there. As Mundane Zebra going to siege up towards the mid lane. And Hero Zero and the Cure as the trifecta. Going to be looking for the play. Drinking Bird barely jumps over the wall in time. Almost hit by that Detainment Strike. Here just keeping Hero alive. And Drinking Bird trying to DPS, but it's so difficult because there's so much healing without Hero in a bad spot. And we'll get finished off by Krishnader. Krishnader still looking for the cure. They will have a little bit of extra damage, but not going to be enough. Jazz will be able to lock in this first tribute. Now, the first tribute doesn't do anything, obviously. So it will be 1 kill for the tribute. Team Happy Cloud decided they just want to get the XP back in their hands once again. Now, Krishnader and Fade looking for the play. They see a 0, but the Detainment Strike going to keep Krishnader from walking forward, and that'll be the end of that play. Siege Camp will be able to get just a little bit of poke down to the walls, not too much. As the rest of the team is going to start grouping towards mid lane. Hero going to be taking the Siege Camp, and Drinking Bird and R275 Delta going to be taking the Bruiser Camp. So those are both going to be coming into the mid lane shortly. Now Fade just trying to match Jazz. there are 2 members towards the bot side, Azuriel and the Kier. And it's only Christinator, who's quite low, clearly just had to take the well as well. And is going to get poked down quite low. With the deflect, we'll be able to get a little bit of damage back onto Azuriel, but Azuriel has a heal here. Delta looking for the Chastise, not going to land. And now Christinator actually jumping into the backline. Azuriel will get healed back up. Definitely winning onto that trade. Trying to bait for Fade, but they're not going to overextend. There's a bit of a fight going on in the mid lane, but it's mostly just Hero trying to shove away onto this camp. Fade is going to be here as well, and with that threat of CC, going to be a lot more dangerous to walk forward. But now they have to push it out. Christinator gonna dash over the wall. Brush Stalker is gonna be coming through to the bot side. Rob is gonna be here. Hero not gonna get hit by the Chastise. Very close though. Rob looking for an angle, but not going to find one for the drag. And almost gets a 0, just slightly out of range. Now there's a bit of fighting going on the top side, but the main fight's happening over here. They have the Chastise on a Hero. But it does seem like Assault School is winning on these trades so far. Jazz is gonna be joining with the rest of the team, but Drinking Bird will be able to get that tribute. So it's going to be 1-1 now. And now there's 3 members looking top. Money Zebra not going to get hit by the drag. And with those booster jets, I don't think that's the proper name, but that's what I'm going to be calling them from now on. We'll be able to escape just in time. But now the boss is going to get started by a solid school. And the tribute spawning there too. Team Happy Cloud, they're going to start on their own boss as well, but they did start just a little bit later. So this should be going first to a solid school. And I'm not sure if they have time to take the boss and then still contest onto this tribute. It depends if Team Happy Cloud even want to. They may like to just push in the top side instead. Christinator just poking onto Mundane Zebra and winning that trade, forcing Mundane Zebra to take the healing from the well. And now both bosses are pushing. It's going to be Hero pushing alone with the boss. The tribute going to get picked up by the Cure. So it's going to be 2-1 now for Team Happy Cloud, as they should be able to finish off this bot lane fort as well. Now they are bringing 4 members over to the top side. Mundane Zebra just autoing from siege mode onto this here. But now Fade looking for the backline. But the Cure and Jazz are here. And now Fade might be the one that's getting caught. Will get hit by the stun. Blessed Shield is through. Level 10 is here. They're able to get Mundane Zebra on the top side. But now will Fade be able to get away with the blind? A couple more hits. Leap of Faith going to keep Fade alive. And they're actually quite low onto the dive. This is not a good spot for them to be, and the Chastise is not going to land. But the healing through to the entire team is going to be there. The Impale lands onto the DPSs, but they have the well. They could try to go back in. They have the Dragon Arrow. They land onto the Cure, but the Light Bomb combo not going to come through. But the Cure is still in a bad spot. Christinator will be able to finish off the kill. Looking towards the second. They will get Jazz, and now Zero's the only survivor. Fade should have the cooldowns coming up shortly. Drinking Bird looking for it. Bro Strike not going to land, but the arrows also just slightly in opposition. Impale, but with the leaping strike, Azuriel able to dodge away. Very well timed. But now both forts going to get taken off from both sides. The wall very low. One of the cannon towers, the rest not really touched. But the entire bot lane wall is going to be gone for Team Happy Cloud. They will be able to collect their own second tribute. So this next tribute fight should be a big one. Whoever gets this is going to get the first curse. And once you get one curse on your team, it becomes so much easier to maintain control over all the future tribute spawns. Now, Christinator might be in a bad spot. Hits with the Entertainment Strike and the Condemn, but we'll be able to just dash away. No DPS to follow up with Jazz and the Cure. And now the Siege Camp also going to get finished off. Solid School just going to get that a little bit for themselves, as Drinking Bird and Delta going to get started on their own Siege Camp. Christinator going to be here as well, and the Siege Camp will go towards Team Happy Cloud. Now the Bruiser Camp has spawned, but it is in a bad spot, and with the next tribute spawning, I don't think they'll be able to go for it. They're going to start pushing, and this Bruiser Camp is going to be shoving them in mid as well, so this is a very awkward spot to be in for Team Happy Cloud. Level 13 not hit by either of these teams, though Team Happy Cloud is very close. They're able to land the Sonic Arrow. They see Jazz starting to walk away towards the bot side, but with this Bruising Camp, they can just start sieging with it. Mundane Zebra already dealing DPS, and now Christinator looking at this is just going to be Azuriel, and Christinator just trying to get in the way, just DPSing on Azuriel. That's actually a lot of damage. Will use the protection for the Leaping Strike, but in the meanwhile, this mid lane fort is taking so much damage. Same with Drinking Bird trying to trade, but now the fight's still continuing. Leaping Strike gonna get used. X Strike not going to be enough, just little dash, but behind the wall, Azuriel able to win the 1v1, but the Dragon Arrow will cancel the tribute. But it's 5v4 now. Rob gonna come into the backside, but with the condemn, with an attainment strike, just gonna burst down Rob. So it's gonna be 2-0 for a Solid School, and they get the curse, and the mid lane forward is already gone. This top lane should follow soon.
You shall know my kind.
And they're not gonna bother going with mid lane. They don't need to. They're not gonna bother going with top side. They have a keep, no wall already. They can just walk up and siege up and start DPSing Mundane Zebra. This is what the Sergeant Hammer is for. Immediately starts wailing onto it. But now they're going to go in. Cursenator going to have the cleanse though. So not going to be able to land the light bomb combo quite yet. Will dash backwards, but now the leap lands on a 3 in the backside. And the bro charge not going to hit. Delta going to get finished off. No more healer left for Team Happy Cloud. As a Solid School, they're looking to end. They got 2. Now the cocoon has been utilized. It is going to be on the cure, but they just don't have any follow-up for it. Crusader is back. Rob is standing on the front line. Will go into Stason. Now they're looking onto the Sergeant Hammer, but there's so much DPS in the back line to deflect. X-Strike going to be used just to dodge away from the leaping strike, but Azuriel able to zone them away. Now Fade also getting caught here. Crusader in a bad spot. Fade as well. They're both just stuck together, but while they're doing that, their core is getting hit. Their entire team is here, and it's going to be a bit too little too late. Jazz is going to get hit, but the game is already over. A Solid School secures 2nd place in Heroic Division. And what an absolutely intense series this has been. A Solid School definitely earned the victory, but I think whoever won genuinely would have deserved this game. Both teams played extremely well. They played super fast. They played super strong. Constant brawling, especially on that first Battlefield of Eternity map. That's what I like to see, especially from the Heroic Division. Now with that, unfortunately, that is the end of my stream today, but it's not the end of NGS. I will be raiding over probably to Gerudo King, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, they're in game number 2. So that being said, thank you. Or not watching. What am I talking about? I haven't done the interview. Sorry. I'm new, I swear. But yeah, there will be more NGS regardless. Ohmser just started their cast as well. Let me just hop into a lobby. Let me also set up my Discord real quick. All right, should be good.
You there?
Yeah, hello, hello.
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing.
Yeah, and for everyone in chat, I am joined by Mundane Zebra. So, first off, congratulations on your win. And
Yep.
second of all, I gotta say, your strategies this game, or this series, have been pretty interesting. Little bit, not fully unconventional offlane picks, but sending the DPS to be the primary offlaner. Is that a strategy you've constantly tried to work around, or did it just feel right for today?
You mean for games 2 and 3?
Yeah, having the Falstad and then the Sergeant Hammer offlaning.
It's just something that I'm really good at, personally. I mean, Falstad into Leo, I think you could probably see in that game is just terrible for Leo. I can just abuse him the entire game. And the hammer, I mean, it's just that I'm a really good hammer, and it's, yeah, so.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting offlane matchup. Game 2, you were able to get the solo kill there. And then game 3, Rob was able to get the solo kill on you, but you definitely were able to bring it back with a constant pressure throughout the rest of the game.
Can you really call that a solo kill, though, when I run into a bush and he tongues me under the wall? Like, that's kind of, you know, it's kind of borderline.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that one.
It's my rule that I have to at least die once on hammer before 7, so I was just getting it out of the way.
No, that's good. Yeah, you would definitely want to get out of the way before it becomes like an important team fight or anything like that. If you can get it out of the way
There you
early,
go.
Smooth sailing
Yep.
from then on.
Exactly.
Yeah, so what did you think of your opponents, Team Happy Cloud? You were neck and neck in the standing, only 1 point differentiating you two. Did you see them as a viable threat?
I think today should have been a 3-0, so I don't think they're a threat.
Oh, bold words. I like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, yeah. I think games 2 and 3. I mean, game 1, if you don't look at the last 2 minutes, we destroyed them the entire time, and then games 2 and 3, we bulldozed them. So I think it's pretty clear we're the better team.
Nice. I like that confidence, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of your games this season as well. Now, are there any teams you are looking out for? Hinting for Globes, 8-1 right now in terms of games won and lost, 3 dominations, and 9-5. We're second place. You're going to be above them now, but before then they were above you. Are those 2 teams you're concerned about?
Well, the one I'm really concerned about is a potential Scrim Thursday, because I think they were talking about adding just in case of their team, and that's a real scary one.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's going to be a pretty big move then.
No, he's not actually joining.
Okay. Way to be.
A bit of a meme there.
Okay. I don't know all the memes in the community, I'll be honest. I just do my best where I can.
Hey, you do great, buddy.
I appreciate that. And then my usual final question after this victory, is there anything you'd like to say to your fans out there?
Well, I don't have any fans.
Like I always say,
So-
I am your fan. I am everyone's fan. I'm the fan of everyone who participates in NGS. So,
All right, to my singular fan, what's up?
not much, how you?
Yeah, just living life.
Perfect. Well, once again, congratulations on your win, and thank you for the interview.
All right, see you later, buddy.
Bye. Okay, and with that, we are actually done for the day. See, I remember the interview. And once again, before I do look to raid away, I would like to give one more quick shout out to Tiki Solitaire 3peaks for sponsoring today's stream. It's a free-to-play 3peaks solitaire game. If you've never tried it before, it's extremely relaxing, and the island theme just makes it even better. You know, it's like a mini vacation whenever you need a couple minutes. But with that, we are going to be going. Let me just check if Gyarados. Oh no, the game's over. Okay, we're going to be going to Ohms Terrific. I believe that is the only cast going on right now. So thank you all for watching. And I'll see you Sunday, I believe. I think that'll be my next cast. So thank you and have a good night.
Ceiling. And sometimes when I woke up in my groggy state, it looked like spider web.